how the Holy Spirit ministered us. As I was listening to Pastor Hector this morning, I was thinking of what I had brought already for tonight. Brother Dan, as he came in, he says, Pastor Hector told me to come tonight because I was going to hear the gospel of prosperity. But when things happen to you in your life, the Word of God makes a promise to me. It tells me that all things happen with a purpose if I love God. Paul tells in Romans 8:28, makes that statement. That for all those who love God, all things happen for good. Sometimes things that happen are hard. They are hard to digest. They are hard to understand. And I don't want to bore you with what you already guys know what happened to me. But because of that, I felt that the Lord was trying to tell me something, to pay more attention to certain details of my life. I have a book that is called The Anatomy of the Soul. That book has been written by a Jewish rabbi that happens to be also an MD. And this man goes into detail as to the functions of the heart. He explained with all kinds of details how important it is that we take care of our heart. But he also goes into the subject of the fact that the heart, as we read in the Bible, it is not only an organ, anatomical organ in the body, that is probably the most important organ that we have. But in the Bible, it's mentioned 765 times, the word heart. And if you add that to other words that are derived from the word heart, you find that it's mentioned about 900 something. So that's how important that word is. There are many things that you hear that people talk about heartbreak. When you are talking to somebody that has done something really bad to you, you say, you're really breaking my heart. Meaning that you destroyed my life. But as we meditate in the Word of God, and we kind of really meditate in this, how important this is in the Bible, you find verses that really make you think twice. For example, Proverbs 4:23, the 23rd verse of Proverbs 4 says, about all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Everything comes from this order. I went to my now new doctor and specialist in the heart last Friday morning, and he had a picture and started telling me exactly what happened to me. He showed me 4 veins that supply the blood to the heart. And he showed me which one there was on the veins that it was totally obstructing the blood didn't get to my heart. He told me that it took a long time for that to happen. And I also have another 2 veins that are in pretty bad shape, but those can wait, so to speak. And what they did is that they made a procedure in such a way that they cleared that vein and they put a thing so the blood can flow. This rabbi tells me in his book that although the heart is very complicated, his function is really simple. He tells in his book that the work of this organ is to purify my blood. To get blood, and as it goes in one side, is the blood that needs to be purified, and when it goes to the other side, it gets purified. Well, for whatever reason, something obstructs that, you get what happened to me, what they call a heart attack. The most common heart attack is what happened to me, he told me. And the manifestation was that I couldn't breathe. I had pain, but that was in reality nothing that it was really bothering me, the pain. I had worse pains than that in my life, physical pains. No, what it really bothers me is that I couldn't breathe. It is an awful, I don't know if you've ever gone through that, but it's an awful feeling. You need the air, you need to breathe. This happened in such a way that it really caught me by surprise. There is a principle in the Bible also. There is in Leviticus, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 11. It says that the life of the flesh is in the blood. Spiritually talking, now I am living a new life, for I was born again. God brought me into, by His grace and mercy, to a place that I had never been there. I was very early this morning meditating, and when I was praying to the Lord that I would develop the ability to tell you exactly how I feel about some things. Some of you know part of the story of my life. But I didn't realize until this happened this last week how true was some things that some people told me about 40-some years ago. 40-some years ago, I was in one of the biggest crises of my life. I wanted to end it. I was totally defeated. I didn't know what to do anymore. I had come to the United States with the purpose for changing my life, to start anew. And I found myself even worse than I had been before. And now, the problem that I had is that I couldn't get out of where I was. I wanted to get out. I couldn't. It really taught me at that time one thing that I learned in a different way now that I'm a Christian. That I don't owe my life. That I think that I owe my life, but I don't. Pastor Hector was mentioning this morning about the problems about materialistic thinking in the church. And there is no doubt about it. In fact, I hadn't made an introduction. That we live in a world that is full of materialistic thinking. And they feed you in such a way in your mind, in your way of thinking, that if you don't acquire those things, let me say it clear, what we call here in this country the American dream. You have to have this, this, and that to be able to become a happy person, a successful person. Well, I know people that had a lot more than that, and they were very unhappy. So, 45 years ago, a man told me he was the manager of a big corporation, and he didn't know me. This other person took me to his office and told me, if this person cannot help you, I doubt very much that you're going to be able to make it. You're probably going to die within a year. This week, I had a phone call from a mother to see if I can help her son. Her son was in the army for 4 years. He just came back from Iraq and Afghanistan, and he tried to commit suicide 2 weeks ago. He became an alcoholic while he was in the army. And he doesn't want to do anything to do with anybody. He just wanted out. And he says, I wondered if you can help him. And I said to him, I said to her, well, the first thing that we're going to do is start praying for him. To show me the proper moment for me to go and talk to him. But please don't think it is me, okay? Because I have no power over it. And I know how difficult that is. This person, 45 years ago, told me the truth about Carlos. After he heard me for about 30 minutes, he proceeded to tell me, he says, I'm going to tell you the truth about you, although I don't know you for only these 30 minutes. But because of the experience that I have, and you are no different than many people that I know, the problem with you is that you are very dishonest with yourself. The problem with you is that you don't know the truth from a lie. The problem with you is that you just don't know where you are going. You came here thinking that your life was going to change. But you brought the biggest problem that you have in your life. You brought yourself. And it didn't make any difference, Carlos, what country you would have gone. The problem would have been waiting for you. The problem is your heart, Carlos. That was the first time that somebody told me that. The problem is that your heart is really sick. And unless you allow me with these other people, to do exactly what we tell you to do, I don't think that you're going to last long. I have all the scars in my body to prove that. I'm not trying to impress you in any way. I know what pain is. And I gave up. See, 45 years ago, I said, whatever you say, I'll do it. And I would like to tell you that it was very easy. No, it wasn't. I did things that he asked me to do that I didn't understand why I had to do those things. He was trying to teach me discipline. He was trying to teach me to stay in the same way of thinking, whether I agree or not. The way of thinking wasn't mine, it was his. Please pay attention to what I'm going to say. 22 years later, I have stopped everything that I was doing before when it came to addictions and violence and all that kind of stuff. But I still had an emptiness within me. I wanted to scream. And that's why I started searching. God sent me a person who brought me the message of the gospel. God never late. He sent that man exactly in the moment, just like Galatians said, in the fulfillment of time of my life, God sent His Son in my life, just like Angelus says. For whatever reason that I cannot explain, I was able to listen to this person and to accept what he was saying. And I started studying the Word of God. I knew that the answers were here. I'm not a genius, but I'm not an idiot also. I'm just an average guy. I knew that it was something that I wasn't getting in the beginning. One day I read what the King Solomon says in 1 Kings 3:9, very well known verse in the Bible. He is praying to the Lord, and he says the following: so give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people, and to distinguish between right and wrong. It's a beautiful verse. To distinguish between right and wrong. To discern. For who is able to govern this great people of yours? Solomon knows that he's got a big task in front of him. And unless God will give him the wisdom and a heart that will be for him, he wouldn't be able to fulfill the task that was in front of him. Like I don't have the ability, the power, the discipline to follow any kind of direction unless my heart is directed by the Word of God. I don't want to admit, you see, I'm just a regular man, that I have problems. Very few people in my life, and I'm an old man, and I know a lot of people in my life. Very few people that I have known has the ability to say, I'm wrong. I am wrong. What do I have to do? My heart deceives me. That's what the Word of God tells me in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17. My heart lies to me. And it tells me things that I have the tendency to believe. To believe as they are true. And take me away from the way of God. That's why God, when you read the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, says the following, verses 24 to 27. For I will take you out of the nations. I will gather you from all the countries and bring you back into your own land. I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. I will cleanse you from all your impurities and from all your idols. And then it says in verse 26, I will give you a new heart. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from your heart a stone and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. You see, Carlos doesn't have the ability, the power, or the desire to follow the decrees of God. Let me tell you something that happened to me about 4 weeks ago. I went to get somebody from a place. Now I was driving this person to the place of residence where person started complaining as I was driving that this person had gone to the motor vehicle department. And they have the audacity. I'm repeating the words of this person. They have the audacity to force her to make the test in English. I don't know why they didn't want to do it to me in Spanish. Don't they see that I'm Hispanic? Said that the person there in the motor vehicle department thought that the laws here are in English. The signs and the roads are in English. That's why you have to do it in English. So I kind of was tired of listening to this nonsense. And I kind of pulled the car aside and I said to the person, you know what? Because I have been listening to this person for a long time, see. I said, would you like to that I take you to the Great Hound or to the airport? Maybe it wasn't a great time, but I was saying it. I really had it. And this person says, why? I said, well, why don't you go back to Mexico and apply over there and they'll do it to you in Spanish? And you stay there and you drive there. But if you live in the United States, you do it in English. Now, why am I putting that as an example? Because you see, in 1980, 10 of April of 1980, I did this, I went into the kingdom of God. And all the laws of the land changed in my heart in this sense. Now I am the government, the divine government of God. Now I have to learn to obey His decrees. Now I have to learn to hear His voice and to become obedient to those mandates. It's not a matter of being legalistic or religious or anything like that. It's just that I am not coming out of, how can I put it, I'm not a genius like I mentioned before, but I understood that I better get with it because my ways doesn't work. When I get out down from Costa Rica and I went into the airport in the United States, Los Angeles, the moment that I got into the airport, I was in the United States of America. All the laws of Costa Rica didn't apply here. Now I was under the laws of the United States. Well, it's the same thing when I come to the kingdom of God. See, my heart deceives me. My heart listens. And it's up to it's up to me in my heart. After he has listened to the word of the Lord, the only I can hear it with my heart. Obey it or disobey it. This member of my body has the ability to see things. This member of my body has the ability to feel things, to understand that it has to be pure, constantly. The doctor went into a big explanation to me as to how is that this thing happened in my life. He says, I want you to know it took a long time for that to happen to you. But it happened. What is it that impairs the blood of Christ to run free within me? Envy, lack of forgiveness, laziness to meditate in the Word of God. What do I expect, if I don't take care of these things that I was listening to the last song that Brother Bobby said tonight about the heart. Cleanse my heart. Give me a pure heart, Lord. See, Ezekiel tells me that God took away a heart of stone that I had and gave me a heart of flesh and gave me a new spirit within me. The spirit is synonymous of the air. Let's go back to chapter 3 of the book of Genesis. And you're going to find the creation of man. Man made out of the dust. Of the image of God. And after he finished to create it as the image of God, God breathed on him. He went and read his spirit in him and became a living soul. By the power of the Holy Spirit. For God made that man to see this. To be compatible in communication with him. I think we all know the story, we're not going to go into that. The moment that this man made a mistake to disobey God, lost all kind of communication with him, and he was put outside in the presence of God. And now, at the fulfillment of time, here again, God sent his only Son, that a person like me or like you are able to establish this communication again. Not because I'm able to do it by myself, but because I am given the ability to be able to listen to the voice of the Lord. Let me read verses to you this afternoon that I know that you know. Romans 10, 5 to 10. Moses writes this about the righteousness that is by the law. Now let's pay attention. Moses writes these things that is by the righteousness of the law. The person who does these things will live by them. But the righteousness that is by faith says, do not say in your heart you will ascend into heaven, that is, bring Christ down. For who will descend into the dead? That is, to bring Christ up from the dead. But what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. Listen, the word is near. The word is near you. It is in your mouth and in your heart. That is the message concerning faith that we proclaim. Now listen to this, verse 9. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe where? In your heart. Not in your brain. Believes in your heart. Now, this man that wrote this, Moses, didn't know anatomy. No, he knew exactly what he was saying. He knew that he had to believe, and Paul was to believe, that man has to believe in your heart. That Jesus is the Lord. The problem is when men believes in their mind only that they don't allow the heart to capture that reason. And he says, for if you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead and you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified. I don't know if you ever read that as many times as I read it this week. For it's in your heart, it says. It's not in your mind. It's in your heart. That you have to believe things. The things of God. The problem is, you see, is that most of us have a divided heart. This man that I told you, this rabbi that write this book about the anatomy of the soul, talks about the problem of the heart. The human heart is one side of the heart tries to do good, and one side of the heart tries to do bad. And it's a constant battle within you, that you're trying to do the right thing. And it's what Paul tried to describe in the chapter 7 of the book of Romans. That he wants to do the right thing and he's not doing the wrong thing. I'm quite sure that all of you wanted to do the right thing, but I also quite sure that you probably many times end up doing the wrong thing. This doctor is telling me and asked me all the questions that I was getting kind of impatient. I'm not a very patient person. He started asking me about all the things that I eat. And one of the things that he asked me, he said, "Do you eat tamales?" I felt offended. You see, this is me. So my answer was, "What do you think?" He says, "I didn't mean to offend you. He noticed that." I said, "Because I'm Latino, you assume that I eat tamales." He said, "No," he says, "that's not what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you eat tamales, you're killing yourself." And he explained to me why. Because all the stuff that they put in that, preparing the dough, the tamal, you know, how it really makes a lot of cholesterol in things. And he started asking me all kind of questions as to how much milk I drink, and how much coffee I drink, and how much this and that. You know, and I said, "Listen, I'm a regular Joe. I am undisciplined. I eat whatever I please to eat any time that I feel like eating, and I eat a lot sometimes. Everything that I've done in my life, I've done in excess. I'm regular Joe, you know, I just, when I like something, I do it a lot. Am I the only one here who does that? No, I don't do that. I mean, you put to me a gallon of ice cream, and I'll eat the whole thing. It tastes as good the first spoon as the last one. That's the way it used to be with alcohol in the drugs. See, I become addict to things. I allow myself to become an addict to things. I became an addict to violence. Do you believe that? I was looking always for a fight. It didn't make any difference if I did not beat up. I just wanted to fight. What are you looking at me? And the poor guy next to me says, "I wasn't looking at you." "Yeah, you were looking at me." And people, many times I heard this expression, "This guy's really crazy." So I came to the Lord by His mercy. And I begin to understand little by little. The religion doesn't change me. The human tradition doesn't change me. That yes, I can go and talk to a person for advice and for wisdom. That is good. But what is going to clean my heart is the Word of God, through the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Yes. I have to exercise spiritually by meditating extensively in the Word of God. Not just read it. I have to sit down with the doctor, the Holy Spirit, and ask Him, "What do you mean by this?" And He will explain to me with the wisdom from above, in a language that I cannot get from anybody else. the language of this book. It's the most beautiful thing that I have read in this book. That it tells me the truth. It tells me the truth about me. I don't have to ask anybody. It reveals to me the truth about Carlos. It's entirely up to me to really begin to understand what is the, when it says Paul, it says, therefore, brothers, I beg of you, for the mercies of God, to present your bodies in living sacrifice to Him, and to come to Him, not as a religious mode. This morning I was crying very early at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was in my little office there in my house and crying to the Lord about my impatience, about some things that I feel that I haven't been able to modify. When you get to be my age, this is one thing that I have to be very careful. I told Pastor Hector one day about a month ago, so I'm going to a really bad rough time. I'm going to remember something. Let me tell you what happened. I start getting an incredible feeling of failure. I mean, it overwhelming. Not like a, you're failing, no. You are really didn't accomplish nothing. But I mean, like a big wave of that. And every time that I sit down at my desk, this thought starts coming to my mind, into my heart. What are you trying to do? You are what you are, girl. There you go. And I got angry, you see. He said, I got so angry. And that's why I got the heart attack. Because that was the first question that the doctor asked me. Mr. Bermudez, let me ask you, I know that you have a problem with the day, but let me ask you, did you get angry in the last 2 or 3 weeks? And I said, angry like what? I mean, he says, like really angry. I said, yes, I did. How bad is that? Very bad. He says, yeah, that accelerated that. And I felt that day, when I got that day, that I got very angry. You don't want to see me that angry. I haven't got that angry in years and years. I had to get away from everybody. I went into my backyard and I really was totally out. I don't know, I hope that that never happens to you. And I came crying to the Lord and said, Lord, what am I supposed to do? You see, I know some principles that the Lord has shown me. That I know that are very important for me. I don't know for you, for me. Chapter 17, the book of John, has a principle about the unity. It's the prayer of Jesus for all his disciples, for all the people that has come to him, including us. And the petition of Jesus to the Father is this: Father, that they be one, like you and I are one, that they be one. Because if I'm not one, I cannot walk with him, not the way that I'm supposed to walk. The principle that I'm talking about You find it in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. Very well known verse in the Bible. You can two walk together if they are not in one accord. Divorces in the United States happens because of that. Because man and wife one day decided that they cannot agree anymore. And if they say, she said white, he says black, and there is no gray in that marriage. It's either one or the other. And they don't have the ability to come to one accord. The biggest principle that you can find in the Bible, besides being born again, is that God and I become one. Through the blood of Christ. For I have the mind of Christ, not mine anymore. 1 Corinthians 2:16. I don't have the right to think on my own. I have somebody called, that is called law. I'm preparing myself to teach the book of Romans again. I was reviewing my notes, and I'm reading for the third time this last week the epistle. In the last 2 weeks I read the epistle 2 times. And I'm not saying that to impress you, it's just to remind myself. Many people call the Lord, Lord, and they don't know why they call him Lord. See, we are in a democratic country. We don't have a king here. We say, yeah, the Lord, yeah. The concept of lordship is kind of vague. Only people from England or other countries that are under the law monarchy, they have that concept in their book. But if you go to the 16th century or 14th century, the Lord was the Lord. He had the right to cut you at any time. If you go cut in a bad mood and you didn't know where he's supposed to, if he wanted you to do, you were dead. You have to obey him whether you like it or not. And that's why you find the Lord Jesus Christ saying, they say, Lord, Lord, and they don't do what I tell them. But the point that I'm trying to make this afternoon is this. Everything that happens to Carlos is for good. That's what the Word of God tells me. What happened to me 3 weeks ago is that the Lord stopped me. He allows that to happen to me. And I have to stop whether I like it or not. And take an inventory of what's good. Okay, kiddo. Are you the Lord of your life, or am I the Lord of your life? That's it, nothing too complicated. Because if you allow me to continue being your Lord, you're going to be okay. And if you allow yourself to do it in your own will, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Psalm 51:17. I sacrifice, O God, is a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart to you, Lord God, that you will not despise. Ezekiel 11:19. I will give them an undivided heart and put a new spirit in them. I will remove from them their heart of stone and give them a heart of flesh. I'm going to finish with this argument. Do I have an undivided heart? In what areas of my life I have a divided heart? I'm not supposed to have a divided heart. God gave me a new heart. The heart of Jesus. Let me make a note as to when we study the Bible. There is one epistle that doesn't say anything about correcting anything in the church. That is the epistle of Romans. The epistle of Romans, it tells the people of Rome, and tells us today how to behave and why we're supposed to behave that way. It tells you every doctrine of Christianity. It tells you the problem that we have as human beings. As a difference of the other epistles, all the other epistles are, when Paul wrote those epistles, he wrote those epistles trying to correct problems that were in the churches that he had found. The epistle of Romans, Paul didn't found that church. He longed to go there, it says. But at the moment that he wrote that letter, he still wasn't being able to go there. However, in verse 12, the first chapter, let me take a look here real quick. Yeah. Verse 12 of chapter 1. Paul is longing to go there, and he says to them, that is, that I may be encouraged together with you while among you, each of us by the other faith. Yeah, verse 11, start verse 11. For I long to see you in order that I may impart some spiritual gift to you, that you may be established. I studied that word established. It's a very important word in that chapter. I found that many Christians are not established. And I found myself that I haven't been established in some areas of my life. Establishes give you the connotation of immobile. You don't move from what God established you. And it says in verse 12, that I might be encouraged, that we may encourage together with you while among you, each of us, the other's faith by both yours and mine. It is important for me, listen to me please. I came that day, that Friday. 2 days before that was when I got very, very angry. I've been in insane asylums, brothers, because they couldn't control me. This is way back. They put me in straight jackets, and they throw me in a room that you have seen in the movies. The walls are bad, so you don't hurt yourself. I had no control over Carlos. That day it happened to me that I got very angry, I got very scared. Because all Carlos was start coming back. And when I came that Friday, I came to listen to the teaching of Pastor Hector. And I was exhausted. hardly walk that day. And as I went into the room there, when Barry was there, and Brother Efren and Brother Alejandro, I went and got some water, and I sat down, and this pain started developing here. And I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't, the attack started. See, I know, but I wasn't the heart attack what had happened to me. I know why and everything. And when I was in a heart attack, I was crying. Not feeling sorry for myself. I was angry at myself that I have allowed the old Carlos to come back. The Word of God teach me a principle. He who believes that he's altogether better, you better start thinking twice. I have to learn to be weak in some areas of my life to be strong in the Lord. I have to learn to be defeated by Him. Listen to me, please, brothers. I love you dearly. Allow Him to defeat you. Do you know how He defeats you? By forgiving people. When you have something in your heart against somebody, allow the Holy Spirit to defeat you and to forgive. No, forgive out. Forgive them. You and I cannot produce that. It has to be Him. You. The principle is in the Bible. It tells me in the book of Ephesians that I was darkness. Not that I was in the dark. No, that I was darkness. And that feeling started coming back that day. I was crossing the parking lot as I was going through, and I was felt so defeated. And God, in His mercy, allowed that to happen to me for me to realize how wrong I was. Don't be afraid to admit that you are wrong. The Word of God tells me that he who doesn't confess sin won't prosper. And so tonight, as we did tonight here, I wanted to remind myself that God has given me a new heart. To show me how weak mine is. And how great the power of His love is for being grace and mercy. As we prepare for, I'm real excited for the new semester to start coming. To me, to teach is a joy. My wife tells me, why do you do so much? And I say that because that's my life. I love my people. Now, when I say my people, I'm talking about Latino people. Listen to me for a second. Be patient with me tonight. It makes me angry to see how religious we are. How we take this book like a game. There is no thirst for the study and meditation. You will make it without studying and meditating on this. With all due respect, it's not enough to come to church. It's part of it, but it's not enough. It is when you are in your home, when you are married,
functionally tell me what to do. Not only tell me what to do, nor be merciful to me and give me the power to do it. Because without you, I cannot do it. And God bless you. Amen.